What's up, guys? I'm Chris with DeVille Magic, and today you're watching a magic review on Peekaboo Bunny by David Kaye, also known as Silly Billy. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. If you're new here and you're watching from YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe, ring that notification bell so you don't miss a review. And if you're watching from devillemagic.net, tune in each week for a brand new review. Today we're going back to my roots, which is where I started out with kids magic, and I still do a lot of kids magic. We're going to look at Peekaboo Bunny by Silly Billy or David Kaye. This is one of my absolute favorite kids routines. Here's a quick performance for you to show you exactly what it is. All right, so what you saw there is my silent performance without an audience for Peekaboo Bunny. Now, this is a kids magic routine, right? Which involves the bunny and the hat, and it's a funny little play that the way that I perform it is I talk about how Roger is a really good rabbit. Like he listens really well. I often relate him to the dogs that perform in dog shows, how they'll run the obstacle course and they'll listen really good, and how Roger will never come out of the hat unless I tell him to. And then of course he starts poking his ears out of the hat and the kids all go nuts, and I say no, he would never do that, and then he starts coming out of the bottom when I cover the top, and then off to the sides, but I can't catch him, I can't see him. And then in the end I do, and then there's a big surprise with the kicker ending where he vanishes from the hat and ends up on my back, or wherever. You can do that, make him appear wherever. So it's a great routine for kids. I've been performing this since it was released, which was quite a few years ago now. It's still my go-to routine when it comes to kid shows. There isn't one show that I've done since purchasing this where I haven't performed this, and this by far gets the biggest reactions. If you want to perform kids magic, if you pick this up, this is what the kids, they're going to be screaming, they're going to be laughing, and this is what the parents want, right? Like, this is when a parent hires you for their kids party or a kids event, or if it's a company or anything like that. This is the kind of stuff that they want to see. The kids having an absolute blast, laughing, screaming. This is perfect for that. I don't have anything that gets more interaction from the kids. And my show that I've put together for kids involves plenty of audience participation and interaction. But this one here is by far the one. If I could perform one routine for kids, this would be it. And this has paid for itself 100 times over. What you get is the hat, you get the rabbit, and you get another something that I'm sure a lot of you already know, but when you get it, you'll understand what I mean. So that's what you get. The quality is it's very well made. I think it's like I don't really know, some kind of, it might be plexiglass. It is a durable plastic. I've been using this for probably 5 years or so. I'm not sure, but anyway, I've performed hundreds of kids shows over the years. I use this in every show. It's held up, like it's really good quality. The tutorial, there isn't really a tutorial. Basically, you get a small, like a little paper booklet that explains how the mechanism works, and you know, it has some routining in there, but I just tended to adapt my routine with the one that Silly Billy performs, or David Kaye. I think that one's great, and the kids have always loved it. Difficulty level on this, it's not difficult at all. It's going to be easier for you if you have bigger hands. I have really small hands, so you know, I'm sure that you watching probably have an idea of how this works, but you know, the kids, even sometimes they do shout out that you're doing something, but you know, that's not even the focus, because the kids are laughing, they're screaming, they're having so much fun, and that's really the point of this routine, right? It's not so much about the magic as it is about the kids having fun, right? And that's what I've found with kids shows over the years. You know, you can perform some mind-blowing visual magic, and that's all great. You know, that's awesome. But if the kids aren't having fun and the kids aren't engaged, if they're not interacting with you, you're going to lose their attention. And it doesn't matter how much you practice, how much you put into the magic part of it. If the kids aren't having fun, they're not going to stay focused. They're not going to stay attentive to what you're doing. And, you know, that's probably not going to get you another gig or a repeat customer. So you want the kids to have fun. You want them to interact, and you want them to be engaged more than anything. And this does that. The angles on this are pretty good. You can, you don't want to be surrounded, but this isn't a trick that you would perform surrounded, right? This is meant to be put into a show of sorts, right? So you're typically going to have your audience in front of you, which is perfect, right? You can have some people to the sides, just not anywhere where they're going to see behind you. Setup and reset, there really is no setup or reset. I guess the only setup is, you know, you'll want to decide where you want the bunny to appear. But yeah, as far as reset goes, there's really nothing. No arts and crafts with this. This is ready to go out of the box or out of the package. One thing I should mention when I talk about quality earlier is that you know, I have mentioned that I've used this hundreds and hundreds of times, right? There are a couple pieces on it that will wear out because you're opening and closing the hat, right? So there is, well, this isn't exposure, there's some tape on the bottom, right? And just over time, the tape can begin to crack as you're opening and closing. But that can be fixed to brand new condition with a strip of black electrical tape. So, you know, like I said, this is great quality. It's held up over the years. And if that tape starts to crack, put a new piece on, you are back to brand new. It's all good. And then also the mechanism, it's made to be extremely simple, right? There's moving parts, as you could see in the performance, but it's designed in a way that those moving parts, if something should ever, I guess I'll say break, but I wouldn't really say it's broken by any means, because to fix it, and this has never happened to me, but if it did, to fix it, you already have what you need at home. It will literally take you seconds to fix it, and you'll be good for another you know, like I said, I've been going for 5 or so years with this, and it's never broken yet. But if that happened, fix it in a matter of seconds with stuff that you already have at home, guaranteed. And you'll be good to go for another 5, 6 years, right? And I mean, I use this thing a lot. I was using this multiple times a week for many weeks when before COVID, when I was really busy with kid shows and events like that. Now things have slowed down, obviously, but I know that this is going to be something that I'll be using for the rest of my career in magic, especially when it comes to kids. Is this a worker? Well, that's the only time I use it, really. You know, is when I'm working birthday parties or kids events or all ages events too, right? If I'm doing an all ages show where there's families, parents, kids, teenagers, obviously like the teenagers are going to call you out, right? But the kids are having so much fun, and the teenagers, they'll know that that's, you know, that's who this is directed towards, is the younger kids, right? And the parents just love it because they see their kids laughing and screaming and having a blast. So yeah, this is absolutely a worker. I will use this. Well, I already mentioned I'll use this forever. Is this worth your money? Well, it's not cheap. You know, but I think it's $250. But if you are a kids performer or an all ages performer, this is paid for itself over and over again. A lot of the time, when you're a children's entertainer, word travels, word of mouth, you know, or if you're advertising on social media, if you get a performance video of you doing this at a show, right? They see, people who are looking see how much the kids are engaged and how much fun they're having, and this will get you bookings. So it's paid for itself more times than I can even count. It's 100% worth your money if you're a kids performer. Pros and cons, positives and negatives. I could go on and on and on about the pros. You've already heard them, you know, how much the kids enjoy this, how much the parents enjoy watching their kids enjoy this, how easy it is to perform, how easy it is to fix if anything should go wrong, right? And it's never happened to me. But some negatives, I really don't have any negatives. It's just a personal thing. Like, I have small hands, so it can be a bit more obvious as to, you know, that I'm doing something. It's not as hidden with me and my small hands as it is, or as it would be with somebody who has larger hands. However, with the right hand placement, it makes it a lot less obvious as to what I'm doing. And like, you know, we're performing for kids, right? If they're having fun and they're laughing, nobody cares. Nobody cares what is going on behind the scenes. Everybody's just having a good time. That's my review for Peekaboo Bunny by David Kaye. You can pick this up at Silly Magic. I will leave a link in the description below. And thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. I thought I should do, you know, a review on some kids magic, because that is what I know best. Out of all the stuff that I do, I have gotten into a lot more, you know, different types of performing, right? Walk around and some stage, and I even have an adults only show, but kids magic is where I started, and before COVID, that is where I stayed the busiest. So I thought, why not review some kids magic, right? So yeah, subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. I got different kinds of reviews coming all the time. Thanks again for sticking around, and we'll see you at the next review.